guys are fucking big enough to stand up for them, and we're going to continue to do it, motherfuckers. That's what they're saying to us. Really, man. They're fucking disrespecting us to the highest fucking level. Nah, it's fucking done, man. You know? Fucking no more of this shit.
Yeah, listen, I gotta agree with energy. If that doesn't fucking make you want to wind chime her in, then I don't know what does. But wind chimes are fucking coming back in fashion real fast.
I'm on board with what radio said. I have rope and I will fucking travel.
County Sheriff and the SBI are investigating after a man was found dead with a rope around his neck, sparking a lot of questions on social media.
Okay, so here's what we know right now. 21-year-old Javion McGee was a truck driver from the Chicago area who was found in a rural area off Van Gogh Mill Road, not far from his truck. The sheriff says he was found with his back against a tree with a rope around his neck.
Like, what did I do wrong? I'm literally just walking across the street.
Christiana Porter, accused of jaywalking in front of the San Francisco police car at 2nd and Geary in the Richmond district on July 29th. Porter, wearing headphones, continues walking, not realizing the officer's now trying to stop her. The officer drives on the wrong side of Geary. He gets out of his car. Porter moves away from the officer, who then pushes her against the wall. On this cell phone video, you can hear Porter screaming, "I'm not resisting."
I'm not resisting. Stop, you are. Stop resisting. Honestly, as a black woman just trying to stay alive.
The way I've heard it passed down for generations, and that is they say that God made white people to serve God. This is the way I've heard it. God made white people to serve God and made black people to serve white people. And if everybody just leaves it alone and stop all this hooping and hollering and screaming and trying to change it, everything will work out just fine. I say, I don't believe it.
Okay, all right,
all right. See what I mean? That's why I wrote my book.
Yes.
I tell every white supremacist, yeah, that's what you say. Yeah, because that's easy for you to say. All right? And you can show some evidence according to you. But I say, you just a master mistreater. That's what you are, and that's all that you are.
Yeah.
The race war, which is the only war. Okay. Firstly, understand the war, the race war. There is a war on planet Earth against the darker races, by the lighter races and the lightest races. Understand the war. The lighter races, the lightest race, the European, their objective currently is they are trying to keep power and keep the status quo. They don't want too much changing. In fact, they want to go back to the way it was 50, 100, even 200 years ago. What is our objective as the darker race, the darkest race, the black race, the Negro race? Your objective and my objective is to take power, one, to create power, and to change the way the world is currently. Our job is to change the planet. Their job is to keep the planet the way it is. All right, let's dive deeper into our adversary, the European, which we have more than just one adversary. Don't think the enemy is just the European and it's just him and not any of these other people, or all Europeans are enemies. Think not that. But let's dive into the culture of the European, the main culture. Okay. Let me pull the thumb on our people, the Ethiopian race, the black race. The black race, basic ideology, what it boils down to is relationship. How do we relate to one another? How do we relate to other people? Culture. That is the biggest thing that the black race relates to, culture. How we deal with other people, how we deal with ourselves, the hierarchy of things. That's a whole nother episode. The Oriental, the Asian, the Far Eastern, their basic ideology is group. Everything goes back to the group. This is for China. This will make China great. I can't do this because this will make China look bad. This will make Japan look bad. They're always thinking about the group. The European is individualistic, but he relies on the object. Now, some have said this is because of he comes from the snow, he comes from the cold. So everything about him is the object. How much food do I have? How much money do I have? How much power do I have? Why? Because winter is coming and it will be cold and I will die if I do not have something. Where we come from, Africa, where everything is abundant. There's always water somewhere. You just have to travel. There's always good soil to grow stuff. You just have to travel a little bit more. That's not the way it is in Europe. Okay, if you lose your land and you get kicked off your land by another group of people, you're probably going to die. Because in order to get to another prosperous land where everything grows, you have to go a far distance, and you're probably not going to reach it. So everything is the object. The Asian is his group, and for the black race, it is our relationship. We have to know this about our people and other people. Now, currently, since about 500 years ago, the Europeans have taken over the planet. Our brother Nearly Fuller breaks it down into 9 areas that are the dominant aspects of planet Earth. 9 areas: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, counter-war. In all these areas, the European, predominantly over the past 500 years, has reigned supreme in it. He controls the economics of the earth. He controls the education of the earth. His degrees are worth the highest. His money is worth the highest, basically. The entertainment, Hollywood, how you should be in entertainment, even though he's taken a lot from us with our music, but he controls it. White people, whatever race you say they come from. Labor, law, his law reigns supreme. Politics, religion, he is a dominant religion on the planet. He's taken over Christianity, even though he doesn't started it. The Arabs have their little religion, but honestly, the white man controls them. Come on now. Sex, we can't. 10 years ago, the way we view sex and what was allowed and what wasn't allowed 20 years ago, it's completely different now. Shit that is accepted now would not have been accepted 20 years ago. It's mind-boggling to me. But we don't control it. War and counter-war. We know this man has the strongest military on Earth. And that's just the way it is. He has mastered all 9 areas, and we do have to take our hat off to him. But lately, in the past 15, 20 years, there has finally been another man who stand up to them. The only man who has stand up to the European man, the Western man, is China, the Eastern man. Other than them, there is no other man that could take on the European. Not the Arabs. The Indians are standing up a little bit, but not them, not any other man, and damn sure not the black man, not the African. That's just the God honest truth. We don't want to hear it, but that's the way it is. If a nuke gets dropped on Africa, any country, name it, there ain't an African country or black people anywhere on earth that could retaliate, as opposed to the Eastern man. So we have to be honest about that, and we have to deal with it. Now, the earth wasn't always like this. They say that some people want to say, oh, the white man has always been in control, yada, yada, yada. That's not true. He came into power about 400 or 500 years ago, about 1490, maybe the 1300s. Previously, in about 900 AD, 800 AD, the Arabs, the Muslims entirely, it's another video, they ran the earth. And he took power from them when he kicked all the Muslims out of Spain. Then he began to expand and go outside of Europe and take the world. He mastered gunpowder, and he was just on some other shit that we weren't ready for. Let's be honest. Regardless of this, we have to worry about ourselves. The black race, the black man, we can't align ourselves with anyone else. This is the mistake of the Moors and a few other people. We can't align ourselves with anybody on religion or on nationality. A lot of black people are talking this pro-American nonsense, and it's just foolishness. It's going to get us hurt in the end. It's another story. But what I want to go down is, how do you conduct yourself in the race war? Because there is a race war on all black people. Because we are the bottom totem pole of people on planet Earth, whether we want to admit it or not. Everything is always against us, always against us. Like I said, China is the number one enemy of the white man, the European. But he doesn't want to take on China. He doesn't say any offensive stuff towards Asians too much, like he used to do in the 1950s, 1960s. because honestly, he's a coward. So the constant attack is on black people, and we have to be ready for this. When America falls apart, they're going to lash out. They're not going to attack Asians because Asians are going to beat the shit out of them in outer space. They're not going to attack any other people. They're going to attack black people when America falls. And a lot of these other groups are probably going to help them. So we have to be ready for this. Let's get ready now before we come to the time where it's happening and it's upon us. So how do we conduct ourselves in the race war, and what are our objectives? All right, let's go down the list. Firstly, never seem like a competitive Negro. Never seem like a hostile Negro. Never seem like you're a problem. Never seem like you're aggressive. Be all these things, but never seem like it. So what do I mean? Let me go into this. Don't be combative on the job. I've worked in corporate America. I know what it is to be the only black man in the office. I know what it is to be the only black man in an IT company. It's the people act like you shouldn't be there, and there's constant microaggressions, yada, yada, yada. Y'all know what it is. Deal with that because you have an end goal, and we'll get to that later. But never seem aggressive. Never show white people that you're one of the problematic Negroes, that you're a militant Negro. Some people have asked, why don't you show your face? I mean, if I get doxxed, I will. But in the meantime, me and you should be acting like we're submissive Negroes, all the while going for power. Even if I got $1 billion like Elon Musk, I would never be out here talking about on Front Street, drop bombs on white people, kill all the white people, yada, yada, yada. That's foolishness. No. We want to get to a point where we're very powerful, but no, we don't need any of that bringing drama to our front door. That's foolishness. We should move like our ancestors. Act like a dumb slave. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, act like their little dog. Act like it. But in the background, prepare. Prepare to escape the plantation. Prepare to burn down the plantation, metaphorically speaking. Our goal is to grow in power as a collective. Our goals are to employ ourselves. Legally, I've never worked for a black person before. Our goal is to be able to defend ourselves completely. Like I said, if a bomb gets dropped on an African nation, no black people anywhere in the world can defend them. The goal of our race and every tribe within our race is to become powerful. First ourselves, then our tribe, ethnicity, then the entire race. And lastly, let me say this. It's not personal. Don't hate white people or anybody else, because it'll drive you crazy. Focus on our goal. The Jews don't even really hate the Germans. They might be dealing with a lot of animosity and a lot of demons. That's why they do what they do. But the Jews don't even hate the Germans after what they did. And there's some white supremacy ideology there, but it's the truth. It doesn't matter. What matters is we become powerful. And if anyone ever does try to hurt us again, we can handle it swiftly. So don't let it grow into hate. I know it's hard. I know you're dealing with a lot of stuff, but don't ever hate them. Your goal is to grow powerful. Your goal is to learn everything you can at that college. Your goal is to learn everything you can on that job. So then you can go out and do that for yourself and your people. Moving on, the next one. I want you to take care of yourself. Before we get into anything else in the war, take care of yourself. We need every soldier strong. Firstly, spiritually, mentally, be in good spirits. If you're dealing with a lot of drama and you're very stressed out, take a break from things. I left America and I lived in Africa for 2 years. That was one of the best therapies I've ever had in my entire life. I could have stayed. Part of me wanted to stay in Africa. I was in Southern Africa. It's the only place that a black man can be relatively free. I never had to worry about no cops. The women were soft. There was problems, we got problems in Africa, but it was heaven. Take care of yourself, man. Be honest about your stress levels. Be honest about your health. Are you sick? Is your mind, are you dealing with, do you have random thoughts of violence and random thoughts of animosity? Are you angry all the time? Well, you're not healthy. Before you can help us or the race, you got to help yourself. We need good, strong soldiers. So that means be smart. Take a break. Have a drink. Go out dancing. Have sex. Read. Be strong. Grow. Learn. Go talk to somebody about your demons. Why are you so angry all the time? Why are you really, really so angry all the time? Is there anyone you could talk to about it that you could trust? Tell them what happened to you as a kid? We're going through a lot as our race, man, all over the planet. We're abused people. We're people who are hurting. And we're people who are going through a lot every day. We're hurting. So work on that. Be strong. Fix yourself. Take time for yourself. Take a vacation. Grow. Take it slow. Be honest. We need healthy soldiers first. We need you to be healthy before you can help us. Number 3, be ready to defend yourself. Okay. We know what it is. If you're in North America and other parts of the world, we know what it is. It's dangerous outside. The cops are trying to kill us. The Ku Klux Klan is after our ass. All types of white supremacy's after our ass. Pookie's after our ass. We got these goofy ass, crazy Negroes where they ready to shoot you over a parking spot. It's a lot of drama. We are in a war. And it would be one thing if we just had to worry about white folks. But we got to worry about Mexicans too. It would be one thing if 2 things if we had to worry about white people and Mexicans. But we got to worry about white people, Mexicans, natives, and we got to worry about other black people, ghetto black people that act stupid. You're most likely, statistically, going to be killed by another black person. You could be killed and lynched by a white person. It could be a Mexican, depending on where you live at. So conduct yourself. Every day you leave out of the house, it may look nice where you live at. It may be clean, but you are in a war. You could be jogging down the street and somebody jump out on you ladies with a cloth that's soaked in some type of chemical and put it over your face and you're going to pass right out. Be ready for the war. People are getting lynched. People are getting hung on trees. The natives, the Mexicans, instead of attacking the people who killed millions of their people, they attacking us. Because black people are an easy target. Do not be an easy target. Even if you don't have a weapon on you, notice where you are. Notice people looking at you. What are they saying? Even if it's in another language. Beware. Get yourself a firearm. Even if you don't walk around, get yourself a firearm and train with it. I'm in white militia YouTube heavy. White boys are getting ready. Ready. You need to be in some of their YouTube channels and their chat rooms. Don't say nothing. They be saying all types of funny stuff, racist shit. Ignore them. Be there to learn. Listen to what they're talking about in tactics. I've learned so much from white people. I've become dangerous from being around white people. I know how to do so much dangerous shit from being around white people personally and in these online rooms. Wow. Learn from them. The same way the white man learned from the Moor. Learn from them. Train with a rifle. Go to a gun range. See if they got a sign up so you know how to use a rifle. The more important thing is we're probably going to starve to death. So you need to be ready to feed yourself. If you know how to farm, that's one of the biggest things ever. That's one of the most important things ever if you know how to farm. Even more important than aiming is farming. We're most likely going to die from starvation if we don't have enough farmers. So be ready to defend yourself. Be ready to move at a moment's notice. Look on the map. Where are most of the black people in the United States? If the shit goes down and all the power goes out and the boog hits and we got these militias going out exterminating black people, they dream about it. They talk about it all day. They can't wait to start exterminating black people, even though the Chinese are kicking their ass on the economics level and probably going to whoop that ass in outer space. They want to kill black people. Why? Because this man is a coward. So be ready. If you somewhere far away from a large number of black people, you're going to have to get off the West Coast and get to the East Coast, the South, quickly. If you're in the North, you're going to have to get out of the North quickly, and then the South. If the boog hits, remember that COVID shit. Remember that shit. Nobody was taking planes. They'll shut down the airport. Then what you going to do? You're not leaving and going back to your country. You're not leaving and getting out of the country. You are stuck here. You'll have the roads, and the roads will be very, very dangerous. You're going to have to be ready to defend yourself, and you're going to have to be ready to move quick, like the first 2 weeks. Okay, it's been 2 weeks, and the internet's down, the power's down. Okay, I got to make a move. Where am I going? I got to be around my people. I got to have somewhere safe. But you're sleeping. You're not ready for that. You think it's just a little bit of racism, yada, yada, yada. That's what them Jews in Germany thought. They thought it was just same old anti-Semitic behavior, just a little bit of racism. And then lo and behold, them Germans said, you ain't going nowhere. We're hunting down every Jew and we're going to kill every Jew in Europe. Yeah. You think that can't happen here? Be ready to move. Be ready to be quick. Be ready to be dangerous. Be ready to defend yourself. Next. What is your skill? Okay. All of the soldiers in the army have different skills. We need cooks. We need cleaners. We need people who are good at tech. We need people who are good at farming. We need people who can shoot. What is your skill? What can you do? Educate yourself in that skill. Me, I'm in a tech. Okay, so I got to take myself farther into tech. I know how to program a little bit, but can I also 3D print? Can I help my people? I'm a doctor. I'm educated. Okay. Or you're a nurse. Can you teach other nurses how to remove bullets? How to save people when they're coming in with a missing limb? How good are your skills? What is your skill? We need to take our skills from 5 to 10. We got to be great in it, and we got to be ready to teach other people. So continuously growing in your skill. You might think, oh, I'm not out here shooting and all that stuff. That ain't me. Good. But we need highly active computer programmers, hackers. We need that. I'm a farmer. That's a big part of war, that you could feed the people. I'm a sociologist. I deal with people's brains in therapy. That's a huge part of war. We need our people to be mentally and spiritually sound. I'm a healer, yada, yada, yada. Good. We need our people to be healthy and spiritually sound. My thing is, in the war that we are in, don't be stagnant in your skill because you got a degree or whatever. Keep improving your skills every day, every week, every year. Grow in your skill set. This is part of the war. Next. Okay, after all that's done, and you are there, we're going to look to finding others and building empires. We're looking to find birds of a feather, and this is very hard. This is one of the hardest things. Black people working with other black people is very hard, because working with yourself is hard. We got to be honest about that. Would you want to work with yourself? Would you want you to be yourself's boss? I mean, I have good ideas. I can do a lot of stuff. Sometimes I'm an asshole, and I got to be honest about that. So that's why I try to apologize to people. I got to keep it real. Hey, bro, did I do you wrong? I'm sorry. Here goes some money. Here go a bottle of liquor. I've had to do that in the past because I've done wrong. I'm a human. I do wrong. But what we're looking for is other black people that are the same. And that is a very, very hard thing because we're trying to spread ideology right now. We got so many people who just want to coon, kiss ass, and find a safe space under white supremacy and not fight back or be a problem. That's been a problem for too damn long. We got to look to find other people that are trying to come together and build companies, organizations that are going to work together to educate black people and make us dangerous and make us employed by our own people, because too many of us work for non-black people, and that's a problem. I've had good white bosses. I don't hate white people, But that's still a problem. I've worked with Jews, I've worked with white people, I've worked with Koreans, I've worked with tons of Mexicans. But I've never ever worked with a Chinese person. I've gone to classes in school in higher degrees. There's only Chinese people in the room. I was in one room. It was just Chinese, Chinese and Indians at tech school. Those people employ themselves. So if it does fall apart and people in the economy goes to shit and people are going to start getting laid off, trust me, the first people that are going to get laid off is black people. Doctors, lawyers, people in tech. We're going to be the first to go. So let's build our own. How many black car companies do we have? How many black tech companies do we have? How many black cell phone companies do we have? How many black hospitals do we have? This is things that we had in America in the 1930s. We had several black hospitals, several black companies. What happened? We know what happened. We wanted to run and get a hug from boss and jump in with these people instead of doing for self. So what we got to do now is start all over again and find birds of a feather. Find you some computer programmers. Find you some people who are trying to make a clothing brand, a hair care brand. Find them. It's probably not going to be people in your family. I honestly don't even recommend that, family or friends. You're going to have to find other people online, around the city, and come together and try to build something together with them. We're looking for birds of a feather. So let's get on that now before it's too late and the shit falls apart and we got to try to do it then. Lastly, duplicating ourselves. Who started, well, that's another story. Who spread white supremacy the most? Let me tell you, it wasn't just natural to white people. Because white people, you don't even hear anybody in Europe in any of their writings saying that they're white people before around 1300 AD. It looks like it came from the Arabs and the Indians is where you see the first anti-blackness and people stating we're white. But the people who spread white supremacy the most was an organization that pushed Europeans all around the world. And that organization is called the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church was the biggest sponsor and spreader of white supremacy around the world. They have a document where they started, they said that it's war with all Saracens and pagans, and they declared war on black people. They're the ones who educated white people that black people and Jews were demons and that they should be subject to slavery and that we have a God-given right to take over them. It was a Catholic Church and then farther on with Protestant white Christian organizations. But it was basically Catholicism and their anti-blackness that spread white supremacy. So, what can we learn from this? We're going to need organizations that spread ideology. You can say what you want about the NOI, but that is an organization that has been that long-standing that has spread pro-blackness. The Israelites, the Moors, everybody, yada yada yada. Put the ideology in the background and focus on, does this organization educate black people? And do they spread a pro-black ideology? Because before I get to my religion or anything else, I am pro-black. I am for my black race. Muslims don't come before my black race. Christians don't come before my black race. Now you could argue whether your tribe comes before that, but whatever, it's the black race. And we got to stick to that. Now, God comes before the black race, but that's a zero. That's a null. And too many of us confuse God and religion. They're two separate things. God, my relationship with God is like breathing. Like saying, hey, do you pray? Do you talk to God? That's like saying, did I breathe today? I got to do that every day. As black people, as black men, as black women, we do have to have a connection with the Creator. And I ain't always been on the up and up with this, but trust me, I don't know how anybody is making it out today being a black man in America and you ain't got a relationship with your Creator. I can't even do it. I go through so much shit where I'm like, God, I need some help, yada, yada, yada. And that's part of the war. having a relationship with our Creator. But I digress. We need organizations who push Black ideology. Even if you're not part of an organization who's pushing Black ideology, you should do it yourself. So find some, hey, let's not be tribal. Let's not be all this. Let's look for Black people and unite on one thing. We're trying to make the Black race stronger everywhere. We're trying to make the Black race stronger in America. We're trying to make the Black race stronger in the Caribbean, in the Southern Americas, and in Africa. We are trying to make the Black race strong. We're trying to make the Black race intelligent, high IQs. We're trying to make the Black race confident, a high EQ, proud of who they are and what they are. Don't be ashamed of your Black skin. Don't be ashamed of your nappy hair. We're trying to make the Black race self-sufficient, employed, having our own businesses. We should be buying Black cell phones from Black cell phone companies. We need the Black race to be able to defend themselves. We have a few Black companies that make rifles. We have a few Black companies that make bullets. We got maybe 1 or 2 companies in Africa that actually make tanks and helicopters, but they're aligned with some Europeans. We don't have no Black company that's making jet bombers and spaceships, shuttles, stuff like that. We don't have that yet. We want to get to that everywhere. And how we're going to do that, we're going to do that on an individual level, and we're going to duplicate ourselves. Just like that Catholic Church put all that nonsense out, putting all them paintings of Black people look like as devils and saying all these negative stuffs about us. We got to do that. We got to duplicate ourselves. I'm not sitting here talking to you. I'm nobody. I'm just some loser on the internet running my mouth. But I've studied some of the greats. When you hear me talking, you think it's anything good. It's not me talking. It's the ancestors, but that's another video. But you hear Thomas Sankara, me listening to his videos. These are his words, even though he's gone. Amos Wilson, Malcolm X, John Henry Clark, etc., etc. Steve Biko, the great South African. So many people. Huey P. Newton. All these people I've read, I've listened to their words. Kwame Nkrumah. All these people, they didn't fail. They may have died, but their words and their ideology are still here. Take it into you and let them duplicate themselves into yourself. And then take that into you, and we got to look to duplicate ourselves other ways. I used to be a Negro on the corner selling drugs, packing guns, had guns all in my parents' house, man. My dad was so mad at me. My dad told me, I'm going to tell you exactly what he said. He said, I got to tell you what my dad said, just like he said to me. Get out of my house selling them drugs. And he was right. He had to kick me out of the house. But through God and through the ancestors, man, I worked through it and I educated myself and I turned my life around. Now look at me. I'm a few steps away from having a PhD and a STEM degree. I'm a computer coder. I know a lot of shit, man. I came a long way. But it was listening to all them people, not just learning. It woke me up. Ivan Van Sertima. The ISIS papers. I mean, I'm forgetting a lot, but we got to study and we got to take our heroes and we got to read them, put it into us. You should always be reading and learning. And then we got to spread that word. Hey, Brother Harry, you know how many books I've given away? Hey, here, read this book. It's called Destruction of Black Civilization. You're going to hear exactly how we fell apart. We got to spread the knowledge and the ideology of Black power. Because a lot of Black people hate themselves and they don't give a damn about Black power. You try to sit there and tell them like, yo, the Moors were Black, the Egyptians was Black, and we was powerful before and we could do it again. Them niggas will be ready to spit in your face, man. It's hard. But we got to look to duplicating ourselves, to spread our ideology. It's hard, but it can be done. Because all men by nature look for knowledge. So y'all be careful out there, man. We are in a war. We are in the race war, the only war. It is very, very dangerous for Black people. You will get lynched, you will get killed, and there won't even be an investigation. At least if somebody black kills you, we can go retaliate on them. These people are getting lynched and they talking about it's suicide, man. You're getting beat up by the cops still, and nobody's doing nothing about it. You got to be careful. If you get ran down on the cops, don't start screaming, and you get pulled over, don't start screaming and arguing. Act like a prisoner in war, because that's exactly what you are, a prisoner in war. So don't yell, don't fuss, don't fight. But we're not going to be good little Negroes. We are looking to escape. We are looking to freedom. We are looking to become powerful. We are looking to become like our ancestors. The Zulu who fought back, the Ashanti who fought back, the Haitians who beat the fucking ass of the French, the Spanish, and the English. Never before done, and never will ever be done again. Beating 3 superpowers. Them Negroes who got freed in America. The Union soldiers who were taken out of slavery and enlisted. They were like children. They couldn't even read and write. And they went down to the South and beat the fucking shit out of them white boys. See, we don't talk about that. We have ancestors to look to. We are going to be the ones who build the empire. Them white folks look left and they look right. China was down and they looked again, and China was back up. China is the only country and the only non-white people to have a space base, and a base in space. I don't care what you want to call it. It's a base in space, and it's Chinese. He's the only non-white man who can defend that. And we got to take a page out of that book. We got to focus on our ideology. We got to spread it, and we got to become powerful. It can be done. We don't need everybody. Don't make that mistake. I know you look at our people and you're like, man, we know. We only need about 20% of our people. So wake up who you can, align with who you can. I'm not in with every Black American. I'm not in with every African. I'm in with people who are like me and people who want the best for our race. Education, defense, building, duplicating. That's our goal. So the struggle continues. Stay strong, brothers and sisters. We are going to win this war because we didn't declare this war. Other people declared a war on us. That's another video. Hotep 1.